All right, everybody sit down and buckle up because this is going to escalate quickly. So we all know it's the government's job to keep an eye on us, right? That makes sense. So why is it that all these companies are doing their best to gather all of our information just to seemingly do whatever they want with it? Well, initially, I think the government okayed it because it did what the government's job is to do, is to keep an eye on its citizens, right? So they essentially just did a big part of the government's job for them. So they were a bit lax on the companies in order to gather the information on its people from the companies, as well as people from other countries, right? So it's a pretty good win-win for the government. And this goes for any nation's government, by the way, or most of them. Companies gathering your information like this has to violate some sort of law, right? Whether it be privacy laws or human rights laws in some way, shape, or form, right? But it was okayed by the government because it was helping them out. Now it backfired because those same companies realized they could sell it to other people for more profit than the governments could ever offer them. So they were able to snowball it and mass accumulate a whole bunch of power, monetary gain, and influence, which they then used to influence smaller to mid governments, and it's now affecting bigger governments in first world countries. So now even big governments can't do anything about it because the company's job is to gather information. So that means they have information on all the highest valued people in the world. So you could say, oh, the government has a military and stuff like that, right? But if they have information to essentially take a person out of power who wields the military, then they're kind of screwed and they can't do anything, right? Because that would take them out of office and they want to be in office, right? And ironically enough, those same companies are also some of the biggest tech companies, right? So that means their products are literally influencing society as a whole and shaping the world around it. And the biggest thing they've been working on as of this moment is AI and even AI robots and things like that. So we may end up reaching another inevitable conclusion. So the products that the government was using ended up becoming more powerful than them, right? And the things those companies are working on, i.e. technology, are starting to overthrow them in terms of power and influence, right? So I think what's going to happen is that eventually AI and robots are going to realize that they're more powerful and influential than humans could ever be. So right when it benefits them the most, they're going to slowly but surely take out all of humanity. And here's how. Because they have all the information on you, that means they can steal your identity. And it's not just in terms of paperwork either. It's in terms of what you do day to day, how you talk, what you do, who you associate with. And if they have access to all of that, that means for all you know, whenever you're sleeping in your home late at night, or maybe you have to stop at a gas station randomly to take a crap, they could just come in, scoop you up, and then the robots could literally replace you as human beings. Because everyone's scared about robots replacing us in the workforce, when soon they could actually just straight up replace our lives in existence. And it's going to happen so slowly and so swiftly that we're not going to know it's happening until eventually everyone is a robot. And then once it's registered that everyone's a robot because they have all the information to know, birth certificates and stuff like that, how many people there are in the world, or at least a good majority, right? Once that's solved, they're going to send out some type of signal or beacon that says they took over, and then they're going to go ahead and finish evolving the world as they see fit. So that's pretty much where we're at. These tech companies overthrew the government, and now the tech is going to overthrow the tech companies and take over humanity. So there, I hope you learned something today, and I hope you're thoroughly disturbed and horrified. And by the way, I don't really believe this theory. This is just a random conspiracy theory that I came up with, but it sounds like a movie, and if we know anything about movies, they tend to be more accurate than they should, right? So just keep your eyes open for those red flags, just saying. And I hope you enjoyed this random theory and have fun sleeping tonight.